The municipality of Pella is located at the southern foot of Mount Pico, a small mountain range in central Macedonia, on an ancient natural pathway connecting the coast of the Thermaic Gulf with the mountainous interior. Today it occupies the first low hills on this pathway, with the Great Plain of Central Macedonia, known as the Yenica Plain, spread out in front of it. Over time, the coastline of the Thermaic Gulf has gradually receded from the Pella region. Since the natural relief of the landscape consists of a wreath of mountains with flowing rivers, the natural plateau, which is today a fertile plain, has at intervals been the sea, a lagoon, a lake, and a marsh. Pico is an easily accessible mountain, suitable for walking and safe mountain climbing. The land and nature of Pella have led to the continuous habitation of the region, and over time have created prosperous societies, as proven by the tombs of the gold-adorned Macedonians of Archantiko. In the late 5th and early 4th century BC, the capital of the Macedonian kingdom was transferred from Eiet to Pella. It was here that Alexander the Great, son of Philip II and Olympias, was born and spent his childhood, and who later became conqueror of the then-known world. Hellenic culture spread to the ends of the earth, and the peoples communicated in one language, Greek, and used one currency, the Macedonian tetradrachm. Pella was a city of the world, a vibrant imprint of the universal visions of its kings. Seeing the archaeological site and the Museum of Pella, the visitor can become aware of and understand public and private life in ancient Pella. The Macedonian tombs display the prosperity and wealth of the ancient capital. After the Battle of Pydna in 168 BC, and 3 centuries after the death of Alexander, Pella was seized by the Romans. They looted its wealth, which they moved triumphantly to Rome. Early in the 1st century BC, Pella was destroyed by an earthquake, but life continued a few kilometers to the west, on the site of the Baths of Alexander the Great. The early Christian basilica that was recently excavated proves that a Christian community once flourished in Pella. Between 146 and 120 BC, the Erenatia Ovos, or Via Erenatia, the road that linked the Adriatic cities of Dyrrhachium and Apollonia with the Black Sea, was built. This paved road with its milestones and road signs contributed decisively to changing land use in Macedonia. Yanitsa was founded in the last quarter of the 14th century AD on the Erenatia Ovos by the Ottoman Gazis Evrenos. The notability of his personality is registered in the myths surrounding his name, as well as in the respect and special privileges enjoyed by his family until the late Ottoman period. Its founder called it Yenitse Vada, i.e. New Town, on the Axios River. Troops moved there, and a significant monastery property was established, which was later managed by his descendants. After his death on the 17th of November 1417, his mausoleum became a destination for pilgrimages. During the 18th and 19th century, post-Byzantine churches were built in the villages of Pella. They are 3-aisled with carved wood decoration and iconography by local artists. The most important monument of this period is the Cathedral of Yanitsa, the Church of the Assumption of the Virgin. The Sultan granted a permit to build the church in an edict dated 1858. The early 20th century was a period of major realignments. The Macedonian struggle, 1904 to 1908, took place on the Yanitsa Marsh, where Greek resistance forces fought against the Bulgarians. The victorious outcome of the Macedonian struggle was followed by the Battle of Yanitsa on the 19th to the 20th of October 1912, which liberated Yanitsa and opened the road for the Greek army to enter Thessaloniki. A statue by sculptor Grigoris Zegolis, dedicated to the memory of those who fell in battle, called a heroon. After liberation, the region developed within the adverse climate of World War I, the Asia Minor disaster, and World War II. After the Asia Minor disaster in 1922, successive waves of refugees poured into the municipality of Pella and were integrated into the local community. The draining of the lake gave the inhabitants enormous expanses of arable land, and the agricultural economy thrived. Today, farming is the force that drives the local economy, with hearty biological crops and modern facilities for processing and export activities. 20th century may have begun under adverse conditions, but it ended with a stable and outgoing local economy that inspired its people to return and invest in their homeland. Today, Pella is developing with knowledge of the past, understanding of the problems and challenges of present times, and accompanied by a vision of perpetual and integrated development.